Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Today we're doing another round of nervous guides and reviews. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll do the whole spiel in 2 seconds, but today we're here to talk the things you need to know about the show before you go for the last 5 years, currently at the Barn Theatre in Cirencester, soon to move on to the Theatre Royal, please hold, Theatre Royal Bath for the festive season. Yes, I said it, festive season. So if you want to know all about the show before you go for the last 5 years, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So yes, welcome back to another nervous guide. If you don't know what the nervous guide is, let's do that 1 minute hopefully spiel that we always try to do, and that is this: for every show that I like to see, or for that I see, should I say, I like to do 2 separate videos, time and willing permitted. So the first of those 2 videos is this is the nervous guide. The nervous guide is everything you need to know before you go into a show. So it could be content warnings, sensory warnings, merchandise that I bought and that is sold, the view from my seat, a little bit about the theatre if it's one that I haven't been to before, or if it's one I don't know too well. Yeah, basically if you are going to see a show and you're like, I don't know what to expect, this video is here to help you. The second video is the review. Review is always put in inverted commas because at the end of the day I am in no way professional. I just like going to see theatre, and sometimes, like this one, I go and see theatre alone and therefore don't have the chance afterwards to talk about the show. You know, when you're walking out with your friend or your significant other or your whoever it is, and you talk about the show, like, oh my gosh, I like this bit, oh this bit was brilliant, I love this. I can't do that if I'm on my own, so I talk to a camera. End of story, end of spiel. So yeah, we're here to talk today about the last 5 years, which is currently playing at the Barn Theatre. It is at the Barn until the 15th of November, so as this video hopefully goes up next week. After that it moves on to the Theatre Royal Bath, which is there. It is there from the 25th of November until the 3rd of January. So it's a little bit of a tour because it's also been in Reading. So the Barn is kind of the middle ground, if you will. Let's start with view from the seat and also the theatre. The Barn Theatre, if you've never visited, is such a gorgeous place. It is in Cirencester. It is on the outskirts of the town. The town is also beautiful. Cirencester is kind of quite Cotswoldy, so it's got the gorgeous stone. It's beautiful. The Barn itself is a theatre space but also shows movies, so it's like a cinema at the same time. It is a small space. I looked at it today on Google. Google may be wrong, but it said it held about 200 seats. I haven't personally counted, so I'm going to take its word for it. So it's quite a small space. I have visited once before. As you enter through the first door, through the main door if you will, you are greeted by the barn in front of you, the auditorium to your left, and the box office to your right. The box office is a table. The toilets are towards the back of that area. You go to the side of the bar. There is a sign, I think it points technically to the restaurant which is attached to the theatre. If you walk through there, there is some stairs, go up the stairs, you found the toilets. The toilets are compact, but the cubicles themselves are of a decent size. I don't know why I get so into toilets, but it's kind of like a big thing when you go to the theatre. You know, you need to know, 1, where the toilets are, and 2, if you're going to have to make sure you've got nothing on your being because you're like this. There are 2 London theatres that come to the top of my head just for that. We've had this discussion before. Moving away from toilets, going back into the auditorium and my seat, I was sat in C6, I believe. Oh, so close. C5. The way that the seats are set up in the auditorium area, for most of this space there is groups of 5, so there's 5 on one side, 5 on the other, and it starts with A, goes through the letters. I don't, off the top of my head, know what letter it finishes on, but it's 5 back each side for the majority of the theatre. Then there is a back door with a walkway, and behind that back door is some slightly raised seats, which I have not yet sat in, because apparently I've been to this theatre twice. I've sat in C both times without trying. Once on the left hand side, once on the right hand side. Who knew? My view from my seat was pretty decent. There was actually no one in the row in front of me, so no one in B in front. So I literally had the people in A. But in this theatre, the stage is of a good level, plus the way that this show was put on, there was a little platformed stage area in the middle of the stage, which is where most of the action took place. So literally sightlines were pretty decent. As always, here is my view for you in case you are interested. Like I said, there was no one in front of me, no one to the side of me, so space wise I was golden. I can say nothing about being squashed in a seat because I literally had all the room in the world. It was lovely. Let's slide into merchandise, because I literally bought one thing and I actually pre-ordered it because it just makes life so much easier sometimes. The programme for this show is £4. It is technically an in-house programme. It's got Barn all over it. And yeah, it's a good programme for the show. It's quite thick. There is a few adverts for things at the barn, and how to be a friend of the barn. There's a bit in the middle about their restaurant and sponsorships and such, but for the most part it is all pretty much about the show. There is production shots, there is information on the cast, there is even are you a Kathy or a Jamie? I have yet to take this quiz, but if I turn out to be a Jamie, I will not be happy. We will get into my love-hate relationship with that man in the review, but I truly hope I'm a Kathy. But like I said, that was £4. I did pre-order it, so as I got my ticket scanned on entry, I also went, ooh, I think I've ordered a programme. She checked a list. She said, yes, you have. Here is your programme. Have a nice time. I love it. So that was all I purchased. Moving on to the sensory and the content warnings. Starting with the warnings that were given in the theatre as you walked in. So literally as you stepped into the theatre space, it says the last 5 years contains flashing lights, haze, mild language and scenes of a sexual nature. Yes. The lights weren't like in your face flashing, and for the most part they were built into the set. As the set, the way I would describe them is that round the side of the stage, built into the set, are these like window like structures, and that's where most of the flashing lights come from. There isn't nothing really in your face at any time. It didn't cause me any problems. It wasn't affecting me and my eyesight too much, but it is useful to know that they are there. Same with the haze. It's a light-ish haze on this. It's not protruding out and it's not constant. It's kind of there before the show begins. In fact, the person behind me was like, is it foggy on that stage or is it my eyes? And it was a bit hazy, but it wasn't a massive issue. Like I said, it didn't come out into the auditorium. I didn't breathe it in. I can't say that it was a major problem for me. Like it says, there is a few mild language moments. I mean, in one of the songs it says son of a bitch. I could have gone son of a bitch. I'm not going to. I did it anyway. But yes, there's a few moments like that. It's not like a F word situations. Nothing major. I don't know if the barn has given a warning on the age restrictions. I'm trying to do it whilst talking, can you tell? 13 plus. There we are. 13 plus is the age guidance. The running time is also put down as 90 minutes, no interval. Some places I saw it say it was 85 minutes, no interval. We started pretty much bang on 7:30, and I told my lift that I was outside at, the show had just finished at 20:53, so pretty much 90 minutes, maybe slightly less. Yeah, it's a snappy show and you are engrossed in it wholeheartedly from the beginning, so it will flash back. In regards to sensory, like I said, the lights are a little bit flashing throughout the show, mainly during songs or in certain transitions, but it wasn't flashy in your face, flashy, try saying that quickly 10 times, and it wasn't a major one for me, but it is useful to know that they are there. Same with the haze, nothing really that affected me too much. If you don't know, for me, 9 times out of 10 my moments to worry about are flashing lights sometimes, which we've discussed, visible guns, visible violence, loud sounds, and yeah, things like that. I have to say and report back, there was none of that in this show. I also do know the music of this show quite well, so any sudden moments like that I was kind of aware of as well. From a sensory background, nothing to report from me. But yeah, that is basically all you need to know about this show before you go. Go and visit the barn. If not for this show, if you haven't got a chance, go and visit the barn for something, because it is such a beautiful theatre. And I also had a little moment the day before, which we'll discuss in a minute or in the next video in the review, and they couldn't have done more for me in that moment, and it was just felt so lovely and helpful when you're thinking like, wow, this is amazing. If I went to, say, a big theatre like the Palladium, they wouldn't even have considered that. Like a big London theatre or a big theatre, they would just been like, it happens. But no, the barn were fantastic, and yeah, go and check them out. Beautiful, beautiful people. But anyway, I'm going to silence myself here and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for the review, which is next video. But other than that, all that's left to say is usual, and that is this. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. Bye.